mean, obviously we need to wait to hear what he has to say. Normally has a lot to say. It's interesting that he hasn't said it yet. But I think if this is right, if the story that's in the Sunday Times and the Observer today is right, then it certainly fits into a pattern of the way Russia has interfered in Western democracies, essentially not by funding political parties, but by essentially giving business opportunities to prominent politicians. He was essentially allowed the opportunity of investing in Russia. So they were essentially helping him, and he was funding the campaign. So it's all of a pattern with what's been happening with Trump in America, what's been happening with the Northern League in Italy. You see it repeated in multiple countries. And I think that the big picture to take away is that Russia really wants to break up the unity of the West. So it wants to stop Trump being friends with the European countries, to stop the European countries being friends with each other, because the more divided we are, the more easy it will be for Putin to keep stealing and keep spending his money in our countries, and harder it will be for us to do anything about it. I think essentially that's the underlying strategic vision. It isn't really about Aaron Banks particularly. He's just an instrument that the Kremlin could use to try and weaken the European alliance, which it very successfully did. It will be interesting to see what happens in the next few days, whether this sort of story builds and whether it suggests that there might be more doubt cast on the validity of the Brexit result. At the moment, we're not really seeing that, but this is still a pretty striking story. So, I think we'll have to wait and see. Brexit is a colossal, catastrophic mess. So what's going to happen? We don't really know. I don't think anyone knows. So essentially anything that adds to the mess isn't really very helpful. And this definitely adds to the mess. The idea that you're going to have a whole hardcore of Remain voters, people who lost the referendum, saying, well, actually, we only lost because Putin did it, is really not helpful for democratic stability going forward. And, I mean, I suppose that probably make Putin quite happy. The idea that we'll end up arguing with each other rather than arguing with him is very much the kind of thing that he likes.